Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review episode 227. This I'm reviewing the newest episode of the series, which is The Inherited Technique, the Explosive Secret Sword of Oden. Well, it's called Inherited Technique Unleashing Oden's Secret Swordplay. That's the name of the episode, or the actual name anyways. Actually the correct one, sorry about that. And I'm also going to discuss the newest chapter manga, chapter 1035. Now, this episode comes from the rest of chapter 992. Yep. It finished that chapter, but there is some additions they made to it because this whole episode is a massive fight sequence, which I'll get to that after I discuss the few additions they made to this thing. First up, we see Luffy and Sanji just running through the hallway, beating up some pirates, and that's it. We see Zorro and X-Drake, and of course Zorro's wondering what the heck they're going on with the frozen pellets. Queen's still firing the gun. King basically asks Bohang where Yamato is. And we see Yamato. She's still chasing Momo and Subaru. At first, and of course, they try to hide from her. And then, of course, they still claim him as the father, despite like it really isn't. Excuse me, she's just a massive fan of Oden. And that's it for that. That's the old additions that they made to this thing. Well, everything else is pretty much an extensive fight scene, where it's Kaido versus the 8 Samurai, where it is an excellent sequence, basically with lots of slashes by the people who actually have swords. We see Renzo bring out one of his scrolls. Yes, a ninja scroll. He's like, secret art style scroll, where it like wraps around Kaido and it's like, because it was meant to block his blast breath, and then it simply surrounded him, and of course right back up, and of course they kept slicing him like freaking crazy. And then they used the Oden, the secret technique, the Oden two-sword style, where it's simply Kinemon, Danjuro, Anshro, and the 2 Minks actually use this particular move. Yeah, it's the one who uses swords. Kaku, for some reason, does not use the armored haki. The other ones do. And this is by far for the first time in the anime perspective, this is the first time Kinemon has used his second sword, because all he uses one sword prior to this. And he uses a particular sword to unleash the secret technique, which is Paradise Sigdosu, I think it's called. Yeah, it's a very good sequence. And, I mean, aside from the fact that this whole sequence takes up pretty much almost this entire episode, the others that they added this thing, like in the case of Luffy and Sanji, that's like less than a minute. Everything else is like just like 1 minute, bam, bam, bam. But the fight sequence, that takes up almost the entire episode, which is excellent. And it's by far really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, in the case of the very next episode, next episode appears to be, it's a special episode called, which is, believe it or not, this is what it's called. Special episode, Bartow's Secret Room. That's literally the name of the next episode. So apparently we have return of Bartolomeo for the series. From the anime perspective, this is the first time since the start of Zoo Island. I'd say, I think it was like 3 or 4 episodes then was the last time he physically appeared in the series. I mean, aside from flashbacks and appearing in One Piece Stampede, he didn't really much appear in the main series. But it's great to see him again. And here's something, maybe they'll adapt his cover stories from the self-proclaimed Straw Hat Grand Fleet. They might do that, I'm not sure. All depends on next week. Now, here's something I have been wanting to see for some time. Because for quite a while, all the covers for One Piece have been re-request covers. Now we finally have a fix on that. Yeah, where it's basically we have a limited series cover. So that means this is not going to be very long. This one's called Escape Whole Cake Island. And this one answers a question I think a lot of people have been asking since the end of Whole Cake. I mean, we know Jinbei and the Sun Pirates survive. Okay. But what about the Germa 66? Well, we finally have that question. Now, we finally have that question. And of course, there was also a thing about the gang pirates, where it was thanks to a cover story that they were able to escape from Whole Cake and go to Dressrosa, and of course Lola, and of course Clifton reunites with his sister Lola. Lola finally gets married, this time to Vito, who happens to be, Game Bench's like subordinate, and now it's his brother-in-law. And of course, Gang Bench finally gets to meet his own father-in-law for the first time, and this of course is Pound. And I think this is great. We finally get a chance to see this. Who knows how long this limited series cover might last for? It might last 2 covers. Who knows? It depends on Oda. By the way, the chapter is called Zorro versus King. First, start off with Queen, where it looks like, though, that Sanji's finally beaten him. Yep, he's finally beaten him. And then we see, like, a woman with the mouse. And it turns out, though, that I don't know if this was the same mouse, per se, just that, well, the fact that Sanji's very good with mice. He's able to basically be good taste testers. And of course, hands himself to a woman. And of course, and then we cut to King versus Zorro, finally. And here is something a lot of people wanted to see. What is under that mask that King is wearing? And he takes it off. And this is his face. Yep, that is King's face. I gotta admit, the hair looks pretty good on him. From his face-wise, he looks... not sure who could be. It would be a shocker if they revealed that King is actually, like... I think it would be kind of dumb if they revealed that King is actually Zoro's father. That would be kind of dumb, even though they do kind of like. But the thing is, King's face is darker than Zorro. And the thing is, apparently, and I'm not sure why this is, apparently King's subordinates have never seen his mask off. So really true. Black wings, white hair, brown skin. And then, of course, he brings out a sword. Yes, a sword. Now, as far as I can tell for King, I don't think it's ever been described as a swordsman. And, of course, they actually go into his backstory. And he's also got, and if you look at close, I'm going to zoom up his face. He has a tattoo on his face. Now, you probably think, a tattoo on his face? That sounds very familiar. That sounds like the people from Skypiea. So it's possible King might be from Skypiea. It's simply possible because the tattoo reminds you of some of the warriors they actually had on the island. So then we see, looks like that Kaido briefly appears. And of course, Zoro asks the obvious question, what are you anyways? He's from Sky Island because of the wings. And then you see him transform. Yeah, and that's what he looks like without his mask on when he transforms into a pterodactyl. And him and Zoro resume their fight, and it looks like a blast of the island. It still looks like they're battling briefly in the air. And then we have him Spock peek with the mask on. Almost seems as though the way he's grabbing his coat, it looks like he's about to take it off first. Probably because basically he doesn't want to mask anymore. Like, I don't know how much time. If this dragon's sword will suck the life out of me. I can sense the threat it represents to you. Yeah. And he is King of Hell, 3-sword style. Don't get foolish, the Kaido's movie King of Pirates. And we get a flashback apparently when Kaido first met King, where apparently he captured him. It looked like it looks similar to Punk Hazard. So apparently he was brought to Punk Hazard. Yeah, I can tell by the background. Looks like it was brought to Punk Hazard. He's like, I'm going to change the world. What's your name? Albert. You're stronger, but now you're king. Stay on my wing and let you know else. And he becomes his right-hand man. And then, of course, then Zoro unleashes like Purgatory Onigiri. And of course, Kaido look like he comes in. And of course, King so slashes at basically slashes at Zorro. Then Zorro is able to slice him. Looks like from the waist up, like right up, like whoosh, right up to his freaking chin. And apparently his move is like bird dance. And he's able to cut him. Yes, so he's cutting at the chin. Yep. He's like, why are you blocking my attacks? I thought they did nothing to you. Unless you're scared of what I can do. He's like, you're biologically able to defeat me. This time we were in weak excuses. I'll keep it fresh in memory as the fightiest servants you were. And then he unleashes more flames at him. King of Hell, 3 sword serpents, 103 mercies. Dragon Dominion. Yeah, in this really cool sequence, looks like though he slices right at King. Yeah. Now, if Queen is out of the fight, it looks like though King is out of the fight too. So you're probably thinking, okay, so does this mean where all that's left is Kaido, and whoever's left is men? Yes. I do think so. Yeah, I do think that... Oh, wait. Jack does come back. Which, he doesn't come back for a little while. He, after he leaves in chapter 991, he comes back 14 chapters later. He appears sporadically, but his most recent appearance is in chapter 1026, where he's finally defeated. Yes. By someone named Irushi. Oh, it's Dogstorm. Yep, that's the one finally defeats him. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I'm looking forward to... So basically, it's fairly recent. I kind of forgot this happened because it's been like several chapters since this happened. So, yeah. So, Queen looks like he's pretty much done. Yeah, I think Sanjay finally beaten him. Took a while, but he finally beat him. Seems like Queen took a long time to finally beat, but yeah, I think he's beaten now. By the way, I get the chapter for One Piece a 10 out of 10, an excellent chapter. Okay, so that's it for Cycle Review. I have roughly 2 more videos to do, and that'll be pretty much it for today. And I definitely think I should be able to. I'm going to get up at 8:30 tomorrow, so I should be able to get no problem. So, next video is going to be Demon Slayer. Okay? Next video. Bye.